Concord Food Co-op. Greg's back in the house. How are you?
Great. We're heading into another great weekend, aren't we?
Yeah, we
Warm,
are.
but
Warm, but it's summer, so we got to take them while we got them.
Did this week seem to go quickly?
It did, and I took a day off midweek, so it went very quick.
Man, some weeks drag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you wake up on Wednesday going, it's oh no, it's only Wednesday.
Yeah, no, it's only Tuesday. Yeah, it's on some week.
But
yeah.
this week is like, but it can't be Friday yet.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what are we going to do today?
Well, today, what I've asked is for our customers and listeners to send in questions for our wellness educators, and today we have a number of questions that were submitted. So
all right.
We were given the opportunity to the listeners to ask some questions.
I like that.
Yeah.
Vox Populi. That's great. And our board answering the questions. Lorna Tobin over here. Hi, Lorna.
Hi there.
Certified Transformational Breath Facilitator with over 20-plus years teaching this method of healing, and recently graduated from NHTI in Concord with a degree in Human Services, a Mindfulness Certificate, and a Substance Use Disorder Certificate. Wow. You were busy.
I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's going to be teaching mindfulness and breathwork in substance abuse disorder. I got to figure that one out. As she begins her new career, she has a passion to bring healing and mindfulness to the arena of substance use disorders. Nice. Substance use disorders. Okay. And coming back again, Dr. Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
Still considers himself extremely blessed to be able to touch people and assist them with their wellness goals through chiropractic after 25 years. Would you start when you were like 6? Wow. One of the greatest rewards is having the opportunity to teach folks how their body works and how to listen to and properly interpret the signs that show up in the way of symptoms. He can be reached at Dr. Sam at mycommunitychiro.com. There you go. All right. So between Lorna and Sam, no question will go unanswered. How's that, Greg?
All right. Well, some may that we don't have time for. But
okay.
I wanted to start with Lorna. The first one, what is mindfulness? And it's another similar question. Why would someone want to learn more about mindfulness? So, yeah, what is mindfulness? It's a big topic now, and I guess I would like clarity on what exactly it is.
Mindfulness is choosing not to punch someone in the face.
Okay, see, that's simple.
All
that
right,
was a short answer.
I think everybody understands
I like when you dumb it down. That's good.
The next question's for Sam.
Oh, I see where this show's going today. No, please expand. So that's
that was actually a child's response when asked what his opinion was of mindfulness, but it's present moment awareness. Mm-hmm. It's being aware of your thoughts and what they are, the judgments that we carry, the thousands of thoughts we have in any given moment, and not projecting them onto the present moment, being fully present with the moment as it is.
So there's where the substance abuse comes in and clouds your ability to be mindful.
Yeah, and there's a great metaphor with, what does a dog do? So you have someone's holding a stick, mm-hmm. and you have a dog in front of you,
yeah.
and when you wave the stick, what does the dog do?
Follows the stick.
Right. You throw the stick. What does the dog do?
Goes and gets the stick.
Correct. So then you have a lion.
Well, not my dog, but okay.
So this is what we do with our thoughts. So most humans are the dog.
Okay.
We chase our thoughts. We go chase them.
Okay.
So then there's, the lion.
Yeah.
Okay. The lion, what does a lion do?
He's looking at me like I'm dinner.
Right.
I'm waving the stick and he's focused at me.
Right. So the lion can make a choice. He can either eat the person there or follow the stick. So that is
interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's not one mindfulness. It's different for everybody.
It's different for everybody.
Absolutely. And so you said the reason that you would want to be mindful is so you don't punch somebody in the face. I mean, and beyond that, being aware of what you're thinking or what your thoughts are. Is there any other reason other than having a negative reaction?
Well, there's many different layers to it, and from the perspective of this, let's come from the state of our society these days and the violence in society. So what we also cultivate with mindfulness is it's an inner sense of who we are, like you connect with yourself and you're healing any hurts or pains that you carry, and you're cultivating compassion for yourself when you're practicing this. And then what you do with that is you project that the compassion outward instead of whatever the thoughts or the judgments are. So you become aware of, for example, let me make it easier here. Someone who has road rage. Okay?
Right.
Generally, it's not about the road rage or the person that might be cutting them off.
Correct.
It's really that person is carrying some kind of hurt or anger. About
Something
some
happened at lunchtime. Something
Correct.
happened with a guy that looked just like that guy in the car. It could be something completely different.
Absolutely. But when you start to practice mindfulness through meditation, you become aware of your thoughts. You become aware of your emotions. So the next time that you might be experiencing someone who cut you off, you can look at it differently, where you won't get angry, or you'll say, well, you'll have compassion. Maybe that person is in a rush to get somewhere. Maybe that person is dealing with their parent just died.
Right.
Or their child is using drugs.
Yeah.
So what you end up cultivating is compassion for yourself, which then you end up cultivating compassion for all beings.
You know that's a hard sell, right?
A hard sell? Not anymore, no. I don't believe it's a hard sell.
When I get cut off by a car that could have put me off the road, it's hard for me to sit there and think, maybe they had a fight with their kid.
Okay.
Maybe at that moment I'm in this moment. I'm not being compassionate. How do I get to there?
That's a good question, Peter. And mindfulness does not mean you're without judgment or discernment.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean you put judgment to the wayside. There is absolutely judgment that is healthy. Okay. But it's coming from the place where you just become mindful of what your thoughts are and what you are projecting on a situation.
Do you think that I'm thinking of the individuals that would most benefit from this are probably not the individuals that are participating in mindfulness. You know, I'm just envisioning individuals that are already meditating, taking yoga, etc. People that are already fairly passive and calm say, oh, let's the next step, or let me integrate mindfulness. So are you finding that it's really, reaching the right population, or a more of a generalized population?
Well, for me, and I can only speak for myself, I'll share that this is a whole new career for me. As I shared with you, I was in a car accident 6 years ago, which catapulted me into a whole new arena, and I had to change my career because of the injuries that I sustained in the accident. So I just graduated from school, and I'm just beginning to work in substance use disorder with it. But there is more, mindfulness is a buzzword, really. And there's a greater interest. What I'm finding, and I'll share what has been told to me, is, Lorna, there's something about you that I want with the clients that I'm running into in the recovery centers. So you reach stages in recovery where you want it. You don't know what it is. A lot of people are brought into these classes like they're dragged in by their wife, or they bump into it and they hear something and they try it, and it just turns a light on. You don't really know what's happening, but you know it's good. So, that's been my experience with it, and I just watched a webinar on it yesterday with a woman, Kimberly Berlin is her name, and she was brought in by the Association of Addiction Professionals of New Hampshire. And she spoke about the spiritual approach to recovery, which is supported by neuroscience. There's evidence-based, these are evidence-based practices. Yeah.
Wow.
Does
Yeah.
that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in, Sam.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. We can obviously keep going, and we'll get back to you with another question. One that was submitted for Sam.
There you go.
One for Sam. How many years of schooling are required to become a chiropractor? I don't. It's surprising a lot of people don't know that.
It is surprising, actually, Greg. Someone asked me that the other day, and they'd been under my care for a number of years. And the answer to the question is it's about a 7 to 8 year process. And
Wow.
that caught her by surprise when I explained that. But to become a chiropractor, we have to go through a pre-med program, which is...
So we're still doing the 4 years undergrad.
Yes.
Okay. Now you're saying 3 or 4 years on top of that?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And the taking the pre-med courses, I was in those classes with, dental students, future physicians,
Yep.
even some veterinary students. And then when we go off to our specialties, and I went to chiropractic college to get my doctorate, that's where we start to really focus on the anatomy of the spine. And we actually have more training in that arena than medical doctors, because their specialty is more the pharmaceuticals and
Sure.
the surgical interventions.
Right.
And radiology is a very big part of the training.
Did you always want to be a chiropractor, or did you get into pre-med, and then what made you take this huge divergent to chiropractic?
It wasn't a huge divergent.
Oh, okay.
It was a pathway that I had chosen early in
okay,
life.
okay.
Just being kind of nature-based and natural-minded with healing.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Well,
cool.
I guess a similar or follow-up question. What exercises, since you mentioned the spine, what exercises are best for the spine?
What exercises are best for the spine? Well, that would depend on what the condition is that someone finds themselves with. Oftentimes there are arthritic conditions, and someone is walking around with a structure that is stiff or rigid. And we would always start with some flexibility, for instance. Other times we would follow up with some stability or core strengthening exercises. It would really depend on what the condition is and the particular area of the spine that's being affected in that way, and we would address each area appropriately.
All right, so it almost sounds like whoever sent this question in has an issue with their spine, and they're believing that they're just going to lay on their floor and do an exercise or something. So that doesn't sound like...
If life were only that simple.
If life were only that simple, it would require an assessment, and sometimes people have that mindful connection to their body where they can really determine where that dysfunction is coming from. They can find that path. The chiropractic assessment focuses on the spinal function at all three major levels, cervical, thoracic, and lumbar, and then we say, what's the best way to address this particular region?
So if the spine is out of whack, the rest of the body's out of whack, correct?
Well, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The spine is the window to our health
Yep.
because it's the window to our spine and nerve system.
Yeah.
What percent of... It's not a question, but it's my question. What percent of individuals walking around do you think have actual spinal issues and they're aware or not aware of it? I mean, how many of us have our spines are in alignment? And I guess it's not necessarily on a continuum. So what is the population that's probably in alignment?
Most people can use some attention to their spine just because of postural issues, and this is a pretty serious concern because I've been practicing. I'm in my 26th year, and I'm starting to find more and more younger people with posture issues related to electronic
Yep.
use or addiction.
Right. Yeah.
And it used to be very, very rare for me to find someone with a loss or a reversal of their normal cervical curve
At that age.
in their spine.
Yeah.
And now it's becoming more commonplace. I expect it, in fact, when I see a high school student or a young adult.
See, well, and see, for years, it was the backpack issue.
And
Then that got compounded but then replaced by the electronic issue.
Yes. And of course, we have a workforce now primarily that's sitting at a desk and at a computer,
True.
which does not support proper spinal mechanics. So to answer that question, Greg, most people could use some attention to their spine, whether it's talking to them on a regular basis with symptoms such as back pain or stiffness, or they're just not getting around as well as they could. And there's always typically something under the radar.
We've got to take a quick break, but very quickly, Sam, before we take the break, if people are sedentary, they're at a desk, how many minutes an hour should they get up to walk around?
A good ideal idea would be every 15 to 20 minutes. Just get up and walk around the desk, walk around the hall.
There you go. All right. We'll follow up on that right after this. Welcome back. Greg from Concord Food Co-op in the house. Very quickly before we go back to our guests, anything shaking at the co-op today or the weekend?
Well, this is the last week to round up for the Friendly Kitchen, and I think we'll get them over 3,000. I would encourage people to go in, buy their cup of coffee, round up.
That's awesome.
And next month, it's the Crisis Center of Central New Hampshire is the recipient of Rounded Up at the Register.
Nice. The food bar that's up.
Yes.
Is it when it's 90 degrees? You still have your people coming in, or do they back down?
Oh no, they do. Maybe a few more salads than hot potatoes, but definitely that is one of the most popular restaurants on Main Street, and all the seats are outside now, so it's a great place to sit outside on a nice day and
do a
have
little
your
people
lunch.
watching, and that's great.
Yeah.
Dr. Sam in the house, and forgive me, I got to do this. Hey, Lorna, how you doing?
Oh, you got
Three Stooges bit.
Yeah,
I mean, it was
know.
Champ.
Stooges,
I know.
Hey, Lorna.
Hi, Lorna, how you doing? Yep.
I must have missed that episode.
That was the one.
I have another question that was submitted for Lorna.
Yes.
What is transformational breath work?
Thank you.
right.
I was going to ask that too.
Were you?
Okay.
Very good.
Well-
Did you submit the question?
No, but it's a great title. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. Well, it is the technique that I started using in my mid-20s that really changed my life and brought me on the path to mindfulness. And what it is, it's a conscious, connected breathing pattern that you use for healing. So let me simplify that.
Yeah.
Our breathing is something that we do automatically. And when we go,
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it can be regulated by stress. And again, studies have shown that when people are under stress, the breath speeds up, or they stop breathing, they hold their breath. And what this does on an energetic field, so it works with the emotional body. So emotions are energy in motion. That's what they are. Okay? They want to move. So we as humans, what we do when we go through stress and trauma is we hold our breath. But on an energetic level, what we end up doing is we hold on to those emotions cellularly. And they manifest. Over time, chronic tension begins to build in the body, chronic stress, illness, and disease. So what you're doing with this conscious connected breathing pattern is you're integrating these emotions that you're holding on to on an energetic level. And after a breath session, someone may feel a lot of clarity in their life. They feel more at ease, more at peace, more love, joy. So yeah.
So follow up, Sam. As Lorna said, people get stressed. The body tightens up. The breathing changes. Does all this have an impact on the spine?
Well, just as she said, it affects our energy system in our body, which is something, though we can't see, it does exist, and there's plenty of studies to support that. It does also affect our physical body as well. And most of us know when we're stressed, we can feel that tension in the muscles around our shoulder. Those muscles are attached to our spinal bones. And it happens in the deep muscles of our spine as well. Yes.
No, because, these days, it's money, relationships, work. There's always something to be stressed about.
Chronic
stress.
stress.
And if you're holding it, you're not breathing right, the muscles are tight, then you've got pain in the back or whatever. You readjust your gait or your body posture to accommodate the pain, which is probably not good and throws your body out of line.
And some of the best self-care and wellness practices anyone can take on is just trying to recognize ways to address the chronic stress in their life, how it's affecting their body energetically, physically, and so forth.
One of the I wanted to simplify my life a few years ago, and my symbolic way of simplifying my life. I had a keychain, still do, and it had like 12 keys on it, and it was a key for this and this and this. Mailbox, back door, truck. I got 3 keys.
Yeah.
I like that. That subliminally and symbolically simplified my life.
And you
Instead of
see
going, what the hell is this key for?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is, and I'm still carrying it around. Took it down to 3 keys.
You see it every day.
I like that.
Yeah.
There's been some very good advice on this show for reducing stress. We had the RN that was on just a couple weeks ago saying, on the hour or at least 10 times a day, take 10 deep breaths.
Right.
I don't think I've succeeded once, maybe once. But I'm trying. And Sam, probably 6 months ago, said, get up, go outside, at least a couple times a day.
Yep.
Take the
Simple.
time to do
Yep.
that. That I'm doing pretty well in because it gets me out of my desk and out and outside. And a week ago, wasn't it sing away, so...
That's right.
So I continue to sing as I always do, but so some good advice for getting rid of stress.
Wow. You, as always, Sam, gave us stuff to think about. Lorna, this is a whole new realm for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So we'll probably end up chatting with you again. Greg, always a pleasure. Great questions.
Yeah, I'm anxious to watch this video again to really understand what you said. I need twice to hear that.
Transformational Breath Facilitator.
Breathe through it, Greg.
That's a great title. I like that. Lorna, Sam, as always, thank you. Greg.
It's great being
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you
for having me.
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.